If you're working in a full-time job and you've caught yourself daydreaming about becoming your own boss, it might be a good time for you to actually sit down and think about, should I quit my job and start my own business? That's what we're tackling in today's video. Quitting your job to start your own company or to start your own business is more than just a passion project. It involves having a solid plan with the right mindset. And while you might be thinking, I know that this requires a lot of risk, the questions that you need to ask ahead of time are things like, do I have a solid business plan? Do I have a solid business idea? Do I understand the market that I want to sell to? Am I ready financially and emotionally for the risks that this requires? And do I have a strong support system in place? If you're answering yes to a lot of these questions, you're probably in a good place to start considering whether or not you can actually make the move into full-time employment by leaving your job. So let's talk about the action steps that you need to take before you quit. First, you want to research and plan. You want to understand what are the markets you're selling to, how long is it going to take you to reach positive momentum or positive income when it comes to this business. A lot of entrepreneurs create detailed business plans, but what I have found in my own business is that your initial idea oftentimes changes depending on what the market is looking for. The second thing that you want to do is have financial preparedness. There's two different categories that you want to think about. First, you want to save enough money, probably for the next 6 to 12 months, of actual living expenses so that you know that you have a comfortable nest egg that you can rest on. But the other set of costs is startup costs, but you actually want to have money set aside for your startup costs, because if you're only relying on your nest egg, it's going to be zapped very, very quickly. Third, if possible, you want to gain experience before you quit your job. You want to make sure that you know the market that you're going to be working in, the products that you're going to be selling, and you want to make sure that you understand enough about entrepreneurship that you can pivot quickly to succeed in the long run. But the more experience that you can gain while you work full-time, the less risk and the less liability you have if you start your entrepreneurial business without some sort of backup or experience. 4, you want to build your network. You want to make sure that you know who you're partnering with, who are the businesses that are going to offer the services that you need, or who are the businesses that you're going to be partnering with. And you also can find a community of like-minded entrepreneurs who can give you advice or who can just act as your support network while you're on this journey of building your business. So in the last section of this video, let's talk about what are the next steps in actually building your business. Whether you quit your job right now and start your business from scratch, or you work and do your business at the same time, both options are available to you, but you need to make sure that you have what your next steps are for your business before you just kind of dive in not knowing the direction you need to go in. First, you need to have a good business idea, and second, you need to have a good business plan. If your business idea and your business plan aren't good, or they don't serve enough people, you're going to find that you run into a wall very early on. Third, you want to start small. A lot of different books and a lot of different people will talk about your first MVP, your minimal viable product, or whatever you're trying to sell, as the beta test for your larger launch or your larger scalability. If you're working full time and you're doing something minimal, let's say you're doing something like start being a content creator, or you're selling a product, you want to make sure that you're starting small. You don't want to add extra liability or extra stress when you're trying to figure out the market and you're trying to figure out the best MVP, minimal viable product, for your customer or for your audience or whoever you're creating your product for. 4, you want to manage your time effectively. What are the things that you're really strong in? What are the things that you can do really well? And what part of that business can you outsource to other people? Maybe right now you don't have all of the finances in place to be able to outsource, but how can you manage your time more effectively to accomplish all of the things that you need to do while managing your life, while managing your job, while doing all these other things? Time management is incredibly important. 5, you want to find collaborators. Who are the businesses that you're going to be partnering with? Who are the organizations that are going to supplement your different offerings as a business? So as an example, one of the businesses that I run is freelance marketing. I don't necessarily do every component of all of the services I offer. So when I get a new client, if I offer them 10 different services, I might be able to actually execute 3 of those services myself and manage the account part of it, but then outsource the rest of my products with my collaborators, with other people that I've worked with in the past who can deliver the work to me, and then I can give it to the client. So whatever business you're trying to build, if you have different collaborators, different partners that you can work with, it makes the work a lot easier while you're still able to build your business and not actually work on every little component of the work that you need to deliver to your customer. And number 6 is to stay focused and stay inspired. Oftentimes it's very common for a lot of entrepreneurs to kind of hit a slump and not really think about what the next step is if they're trying to see that the numbers aren't where they should be or their business isn't where they want it to be. And it's really easy to just kind of give in and give up. But if you can be inspired, you can remember the reason why you wanted to start your business in the first place, and you can envision where you want to take it, It makes it a lot easier to be inspired and be excited about what the business that you're building and where you want to go. And for my closing thoughts, I would say I always recommend if you want to start a side business or you want to start a project, that you should do that while you're working full-time to minimize your risk. If you have an idea or you have something that you want to test, you can be working full-time and do some of the steps that we talked about, building a business plan, building your idea, figuring out the market, finding the collaborators, doing some of the early small steps to figure out your infrastructure, what softwares you need, how you're budgeting, where your finances are going to be kind of stored. All of that stuff takes expertise and building your actual infrastructure for your business. But the more of that you can do in a stable, secure environment and minimize the risk, the more success that you're going to find in the long run. And if you are going to be managing people in your team, in your business, check out this video I have about being a respected leader on your team, in your organization. And until then, I will see you on the next one.